my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains, I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things, gonna make a fucking name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain, I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world can do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself and my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent, and it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots, if I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. Bad energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic. Ain't no motherfucker in this world can do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself and my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking fight me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world can do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself and my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world can do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Nice and early. Nice and early over here. Well, I'm at it so early, okay? It's morning. It's not evening time. It's 3:47 a.m. Ooh, did I just dox my time zone again? Ah, don't worry about it. Everybody knows the time zone. I'm in Texas. Hello. I'm here, y'all. Fell asleep early. Woke up. Everybody in the house is asleep. Well, I woke up a few times, but last time I woke up was the last time I woke up, obviously, or it wouldn't have been the last time I woke up, now would it? Just kind of like, it's the same thing as saying, you know, I found this, it was the last place I looked. Please. Bitch, if you're still looking for this shit after you've already found it, you got a problem. It better be the last place you looked. I'm just saying. That's one of those things, you know, you always say, it was the last place I looked. Yeah, I would hope it was the last place you looked. Because you crazier than I thought if you out there still looking for it after you already found it. You know? Just saying. There should probably be some people like that, you know? I don't know. Are you one of those people that still continues to look for something after you found it? Well, if you did, then it wouldn't be the last place you looked for it, right? I guess we wouldn't have to say that if you continue to look. It's vampire time, guys. This is what, you know, it's night crew. We get caught the vampires because we're up all night. Yes, all night. We have that thing, you know, night crews just cleaning up the shitstorm the day left behind. It's a different beast working nights, y'all. It really is, and I love it. I've done it majority of my adulthood life. I've worked a lot of night shifts. And I gotta tell you, it's my favorite time to work. And in my house, it's one of my favorite times. It's the only time I get time for me by myself. Well, that's if the babies are all asleep and everything. Then I'm good to go. And like right now, my house is so quiet, y'all, and we're packed to the room skin. But it's nice and quiet. They're all sleeping. I shouldn't say anything because I'm gonna jinx myself. Somebody's gonna wake up. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, better be careful with it. Be careful with that, y'all. What's everybody doing this late, early, however you want to call it? Some people, this is your night still because you haven't been to sleep, and other people are just waking up, stirring around. I don't know. Some people might be out there doing all kinds of stuff, I guess. I don't know. There's still people that are still sleeping, y'all. The ones that are on that quote unquote normal schedule, up in the day and sleeping at night. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's not me. I'm not normal, though. Not normal at all. Not even close. I refuse to be normal. I absolutely refuse to be normal. Mm-hmm. Whew. I got my coffee, y'all. Look, I got my coffee. Now I gotta go and find man, my smokes. Y'all, this is bad. I gotta find them. Got them right here. Got them. Whew. Oh, it was close when I thought I was gonna have to go out to the car. I really don't want to have to go out there to the car to get a pack of smokes. Thought I brought an extra one in yesterday, and I did. It'll hold me till tomorrow. Well, till tonight probably. Tomorrow night. Whatever you want to call it. I don't even know. My day, somebody else's nights. It is what it is. Hey, Monica M. Oh, it's only 1:51 a.m. there. That's good. You're still, so you're not really up that late. You're not up too early either way. I know I just got word, one of my kids' schedules. He arrived and reported in, and his ship is deployed right now, so he gets to do, whatever they tell him to do. So he's like, yeah, they put him on, such and such a duty at 3 to 8, right? And I was like, oh, okay, I'm like, well, dang, that's good. And then it finally dawned on me, he has to be there at 3 a.m., 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. I was like, oh, ooh, that's a little bit brutal there, it's, and then I thought, well, look at it like this, 8, 9, yeah, I just thought about it, and I thought, well, I don't feel so bad for you, because by 3 a.m., I've already been gone from my house for 9.5 hours. I'm ending my lunch hour, and I still have 5 hours left before I get home again. So I don't know how bad I can feel about 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. time. Just saying. you know, I feel bad you had to be up at that time, but that's a whacked out schedule for working. But I did think about that. I was like, yeah, but I've already been at work. I'm finishing my lunch hour and going and still have some more hours left to do. Yeah, poor him. Yeah, poor him. I know. Having to get up at 3 a.m., I thought, that's brutal. Oh, I don't think I'd want to do that. I could do it if I'll go in at 8 p.m. and work all the way through. But if I have to go to sleep and get up, it's hard. Just keep me awake the whole time. Pump me with some coffee. I'm good to go. You know, energize me up. I'm right. But if you have me go to sleep, it's gonna be hard to get me up at 3 a.m. going, rise and shine, sunshine. You gotta go to work and do something. I'll be like, oh hell no, I'm not doing it. Oh yeah, see, he loves it. I love the night shift. I do, and we joke about it all the time. We're vampires. And, night shift is different. There's a guy on TikTok. He does a bunch of little funnies about night shift workers and stuff and how it is. And oh my gosh, you sit there cracking up. I'm like, hey, y'all see this one? This is so true. Like your management at night. You don't have management in there. You got your supervisors. Whatever. And they're like your big brother, your big sister. Just, yeah, yeah. It is. It's just so true about night shift. This guy's dead on. Like, we never know what day it is, We always joke. We worked yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We've already done it all in one day. And that's, I always have to keep track of the days. I do have to really be conscious of what the days are. Hey, Kelly, what you doing what you doing up this late, Kelly? See, there's a whole night shift out here, y'all. There's a whole night crew going. Night shift people do get forgotten about sometimes, I think. Unless it's by day shift. Day shift reminds you that, yeah, we see you, we know what you're doing. You can get a lot more done at night, it seems like, Mm. Yeah, but I got the grandbabies this weekend, so I fell asleep early when I laid down with them to get everybody quieted down. Next thing I know, I'm waking up going, uh-oh, what's happened? Oh, you don't sleep well? I'm sorry, Kelly. Look, I, I don't sleep well either. It's, which is hard because growing up I was always such a sleeper. Shit go wrong. You got people who are emotional eaters. I was an emotional sleeper, I think, because I would hit that pillow, I'd be out. And now it's like you hit that pillow, you struggle to go to sleep for whatever reasons. And one of the things that makes me the maddest, irritates me the most, is when I'm trying to go to sleep and I am so tired. I just want to sleep. And you're on a time schedule of what you can sleep because you got to get up and you got to do it all over again, right? I'm on a time schedule here. And you sit there and you're seeing the clock, you're watching the time tick by, and you're going, you know, I've only got 4 hours before these kids are back. Oh shit, I got 3 hours. Yeah, there's been times that I've had an hour or 2 hours of sleep, and but you're doing it because you're hurting so bad. You're like, oh, I can't sleep because I'm hurting so bad, and da 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 da. And then those thoughts go through your mind. You're like, because I'm hurting so bad. If I'm not sleeping, it makes it even worse. And then you already know how your body's gonna feel when you get up to go and start doing it again. Yeah, yeah, it's not good. That irritates me the most. I have to say. Uh-oh. Who's snoring beside you? Rumbling, rumbling, rumbling. I guess it's better than rumbling in the tongue. Oh, I get that, Kelly. The daylight comes up and you're like, it's bedtime now. Yeah, it's bedtime. Gotta go to sleep. I know, we get excited at work when we see the sun's up. We're like, oh, it's time to go. Gotta go. Is it up far enough? Let's look to the sky and see where the sun's at. We don't need a time clock. We just need to look at the sun and we can tell you it's time to get out of here. We can see the sunrise. Maybe. Usually we just look out a window and we see the sun's up. And we're like, ooh, okay. Getting close to time to go. Yeah, that's why they call us the vampires. We do. We get called vampires. I actually made a cup with a vampire on it. And it says vampire. Yeah, I should make this and make everybody a cup. Vampires. Vampires of the night. Ooh. I could probably do that. Now, Charlie Girl was up, but I bet you she's falling asleep now. Charlie Girl, where you at? Where you at, Charlie Girl? She's over there. Jenna was awake too briefly. She woke up. She said she had to pee. I'm telling you business, Jenna. I'm telling it. I said, well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just go chat and see what everybody's up to. Us few night owls here. We got the nighttime on our side, guys. It's so quiet, peaceful. Yeah, the witching. Yep, exactly. Exactly. And you can get away with stuff at night that you can't do during the day. And it is because the management isn't there. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You really can't get away with a whole lot. Sometimes you get in more trouble if you do something wrong, I guess, you know? I don't know. I really do try not to get in trouble. I don't want to. Look, I'm just there to do a job. Let me do it. Let me get out. You know, let me do what I gotta do. I lay low. Do, 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 do. Lay low. And cut out. I'm just collecting my paycheck. See you later. Well, you got to care about your job a little bit, you know. I do care. I don't want to get in trouble. So I do try to follow the rules. I'm not one of those people that has to have somebody there watching me and make sure that I'm taking precautions I need to take or whatever, you know. Right? Best time of the day. Yep, exactly, Monica. I'm telling you. The husband, yeah, he's right. The husband is right. It's nice. You just feel like you can move a little freer. You're not, which it's odd because I always think, well, I don't do anything differently if they're there or not there. But I guess it's just being under the microscope all the time. You feel like you're under the microscope. And we do. We joke about that when the bosses are around. Like, oh, and you know, there are things. She may cut corners a little bit here and there. Like, not anything major, you know, but you're like, oh, wait, we got to make sure. You know, day shift is around. We got to behave ourselves. Night shift, we talk a little freer. I think the day shift does because management isn't there. It's a fun time to be at work. Is at nighttime. I think I enjoy it. I do. But you know, hey, I'm sitting here, got my coffee. I had it heated up because I didn't want to turn a whole nother pot on just in case I do lay back down a little bit and go back to sleep. So I just heated up some coffee. That's the other thing. Working night shift, y'all. Like you want a cup of coffee. But you know, don't turn the whole pot on because you may just fall asleep. Don't waste it all, you know? Oh. So, usually I get home, I do my mushroom coffee, which I'm okay with the cup of that. And I tried one night to take that mushroom coffee to work. I filled my cup up, which was like 2 big cups of coffee in there, you know. And I did make the comment the next day. I was like, I don't mind a cup here and there, but I can't do that big old cup with it going to work. It's just not the same. It isn't. And mushroom coffee isn't bad. It's supposed to be good for you. Who knows? You know, they're probably going to eventually say it's a carcinogenic and, oh gosh, don't drink this. You know, who the heck knows? But, yeah, I can't handle it for so long. So a cup in the morning, and there's a lot of times I fall asleep and don't even take a sip of it. Oh, it's bad. It's like, oh, boom. But, you know, the debate of when to start your coffee. My husband will ask me, he'll get home from work. You ready for me to start your coffee? Yeah, please hit the button. Usually by, you know, 4 or 5 p.m., I'll make sure that coffee's going. But any earlier than that, it's a question. Mushroom coffee, it's got, it's supposed to be all these health benefits to it. It's got collagen in it, you know, and I figure, well, hey, if it's got collagen, maybe it's the fountain of youth. Maybe that's the holy grail we've been looking for. So I'm going to give it a whirl. You know, I'm going to give it a try. I'm 51. What have I got to lose at this point? You know, to try it and see. Is it going to make me feel good? If it's not, then, you know. But it's supposed to be really healthy for you, antioxidants, whatever. I don't know. Got all the good stuff in it. Um, I gotta say though, it smells a little weird. Right? To me, I mean, it just doesn't smell like regular coffee. Obviously, it's not. When I put it in my cup, you just put it in. You add the hot water. They got a frother you can use. You just stir it, whatever. Um, and when I smell it in the coffee, like without any creamer in it, it definitely smells different. Um, but once I put my creamer in it, uh, it's it just tastes like coffee. Well, kind of like a different type of coffee because I am particular on my coffee. I didn't used to be. I was like, coffee's coffee, you know. But no, coffee is not coffee. It is not created equal. I do have my favorites. Um, Chock full of nuts. It's one of my favorite coffees. And yes, that is a coffee. And yes, if your husband calls and asks the store if they have chock full of nuts, he may get hung up on because the lady on the other end of the phone may think he's being disgusting. Um, that may or may not have happened. True story. Um, but yeah, it's okay. It's doable. I could not. I'll just be honest, okay? I can't do it all the time. I could not switch over and do nothing but mushroom coffee. And I think that's why they do tell you have 1 or 2 cups of it a day. Um, it, I would never replace my regular coffee with it, but I don't mind doing it. Like I said, when I get home from work, I'll have 1 cup of that, you know. Or, like I'm up in the middle of the day for, a couple hours and I um, just want my hot coffee, and then I'll have a cup. But I don't, I would not switch to it full time. Just no. It's good, but just not a full time replacement for my other coffee. And I have a drawer full, a big, those Tiger Oak chests for your dining room. It's an antique. They have the big drawers. I have one of those. I have one that's where I have my coffee station, and I have all my cups down at the bottom, in the bottom drawer. Well, not all of them because they don't all fit. So, but then the top drawer, I have some more cups and a lot of different coffees in there. Yeah, and my kiddos do the same thing. They like different coffee and stuff. So I have some kiddos that are coffee drinkers and others that are not. My youngest, he loves coffee. He's now come out to me and he says, "How does he say it?" Oh, yeah, he came home yesterday and he says, "Hey, can I have some coffee? Coffee?" I said, "Some what?" And I thought, I was like, "What is it? He's not asking for ramen. Usually he's asking for top ramen." And then he said it again, coffee. And I was like, really trying to wrap my brain around what the heck is this kid asking me for? What? And then he looks and he picks my cup of coffee up. He goes, "Coffee," trying to be all fancy and crap. I don't know where this kid gets it from, but I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's my coffee." He loves to have his little cup of coffee. He's got his own cup, his own little coffee mug. He loves to have his coffee. He'd sit there and drink his coffee with me. I got plenty of pictures of him. I mean, he was just a little guy. He's been hooked on coffee, and he's got a little we'll say he's got a little ADHD, a little hyper. So I've got a few like that. But yeah, they can have coffee because it does help settle them down. So they get there. That's why he has his own cup. I've got another kiddo. He's got his own cup, and they'll have a cup of coffee and sit and enjoy it. And they're like, think they're all grown, and he even puts a little stir stick in it, and stirs it, and sits there with his tablet looking like an old man drinking that. My other one, he drinks coffee. He swigs it down. So, oh, that's delicious. He swigs it down like it's cough syrup. It tastes nasty or something. You got to drink it fast. But he says it's good. And he goes on. I don't really think it really makes much of a difference in his activity level, though. He just coffee doesn't simmer him down at all. He's just out there. But my youngest, it does kind of chill him out. And he looked like an old man supposedly reading the paper sitting there drinking that. Yeah, yeah, they did. And that's why they're allowed to have coffee. My other kiddos are not. Look, my youngest, he can have coffee, which his twin sister, who, she's the one who, that's not fair. It's not fair. He gets this coffee and I don't. I told her, I did. I'm brutally honest with my kids. I said, you know what's not fair? What's not fair is I gave you coffee one time just to see, you know? She literally was bouncing. I couldn't believe it. The way she was going, bam, 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 bouncing off of my furniture. She was standing there, throwing herself back onto the couch. I didn't even know she could bend backwards like that, y'all. I swear, I thought it was like a demonic presence had taken over. And I said, "Oh Lord, she's not having coffee no more. Mm-mm, no." I said, "That's not fair. I have to witness that." You know, I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Oh Lord, have mercy. Do not give that child coffee. She does not need it. It does not help calm her down in the least. She's crazy and all over the place, anyways." But that was unreal. I should have videoed it. I should have blurred her little face out. But I don't know if there was a blur on camera that would have gone fast enough to keep up with how back she was throwing herself back on the couch. You know, arms out and everything. Bam, bam, bam. I was like, I can't believe I'm seeing this. Dude, oh my goodness. I thought if there's a possession out there, this is it right here. You know. But yeah, she can't do the cough thing, you know. She can't. So she gets a little irritated, but she can't have it. We can. But you can have this. You know, get her some juice. Get her some, you know, chocolate milk or something. That's not as bad. It doesn't affect her as bad as coffee does. So, you know, you'll have something else. It's okay. Yeah, Monica, you should have seen it. It would have been a good little, anti-coffee statement for children. It definitely was a sight to see. I'll never forget it. I said, oh, note to self, no more coffee for her. Mm-mm-mm. And then you look over and you see little man over there who's usually the one doing that. You know, he doesn't really throw himself on furniture, but he runs everywhere. You know those kids that are hyper and they just run everywhere? Like, he's just got to go to the bathroom. You think he's got it pee running down his leg or something because he's running and running low. Like he's always in a race to get somewhere. Yeah, I got a couple kiddos like that. And he's my runner. Like he's okay, this is how bad he is with he's got to get there fast, okay? For quite a few years he wouldn't wear jeans to school. And he's only in 4th grade, y'all. Okay? Kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade. He had to wear the slick, and they couldn't just be sweatpants, y'all. You know, the workout pants that are slick. Can give you a guess as to why. Now he had to wear those. And when I asked him, well, why, what's wrong with sweatpants? What's wrong with the jeans? Why, I was thinking it was something about how it felt on his, skin or something, kind of like a texture type thing or whatever. No, it was because they slid across the floor the best. Yeah, I had a kid in kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade. I had to wear those because he could run and slide, and it would slide right across. He was doing it at school too, not just at home. He was doing it at school. He'd run, he'd do the baseball slide like he's sliding into first. You know, he had to fall down and everything. That leg go underneath him, and he just slide, jump up, and go into the bathroom. Like everywhere he went, he'd do it and slide into the kitchen and jump up. I was like, what in the world? But to find out that's why he couldn't wear blue jeans is because of the sliding ability of them. I was a little taken back by that, but okay. I was glad to finally have an answer as to why. I was kind of curious, but uh, it was one of those ones that I was like, I probably could have just not known that and would have been fine. I'm going, oh golly, yeah, he definitely, yeah. So he had the coffee, and he would be the one sliding around everywhere, and he'd have the coffee sitting there, and he'd look over. He's on his tablet or the phone or whatever, and he's just scrolling. That's the modern day newspaper. And sitting there with his little cup of coffee, just chilling out. And his sister's over there bouncing off. I said, oh my goodness. Mm, mm, mm. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, Monica, it's a sight to see. I tell you what. But he's a character though. He really is. He's the baby. He was born last. He was the last one born. So he's the official baby. And of course, now he's okay with it, but when he was younger, he hated that. I'm not the baby. She's the baby. And look, if you were born after her, he goes, I don't care. Look at her, Mom. She's the baby. He'd always crack me up with that stuff. Yeah, the baby baby. I have my baby of the original, quote unquote, original six pack, which is my 20-year-old. And then, we did foster and adopt and all that. So we have added six more, and so we have the baby baby of the family. He's the baby baby. He's definitely, and there is something, there is something about the baby of the family, y'all. You know it. Can't help it. As a mama, there is just something about the baby of the family, the last one. Of course, like I said, he's the one who told me he'd give me his heart if I needed it. He would give me his heart. And so it doesn't hurt that hey, Mama Coop, how are you this morning? Look at that. We're on live, so you can come in here and say hello. And usually we just get it in Discord. Say hello, good morning. Yeah, it's true. The babies of the family are a little spoiled, maybe. I don't know. I love all my babies. Don't worry about it. I do. I love all of them. But there's something about the baby of the family, the last one. Of course, with my 20-year-old, my husband said the other day I don't even remember what one of the kids was doing. They were doing something, and he just looked at me and he said, we were almost set free. He said, you realize that our youngest one of the original six pack just left to go to report to a studio station. I said, yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, but he's the youngest of the original six pack. But now we got the youngest over here, which they're 9 already, and we got 9 more years, and they're going to be 18 and getting ready to go on with life and do their own thing. And we all know how fast that goes by. In the moment when your kids are running you through the ringer and you're counting down, I'm looking at my 13-year-old and I'm going, you got 5 more years, bud. You got 5 more years. You better straighten up, Mom and Daddy can't protect you forever, And then, like my 16-year-old, well, he's in December he'll be 17, so he's getting closer, y'all. He's a junior, and we got run through the ringer with him for a little bit. He was an angry little sausage. You know how kids are. I get it. Um, in his life situation and circumstances, things that have happened, I can understand. I can relate. You know, um, but we still have to be accountable for what we do, and we have to make good choices, things like that. So he's really come around the bend. He's doing really, really good. I'm so proud of him. Um, I'm just so proud of him. There is hope. He's 16, almost 17, and for a while there, I was like, it was touch and go. I thought, I don't know about this. Uh, this is kind of scary. He's getting older. Hold on, but he's doing so good now, and I'm just so proud of him. Is he perfect? No. Am I perfect? No. But as well as he's doing, he's come a long way, and he's just. I think he's done some growing and some understanding and comprehending things that he had a hard time processing some of the emotional things, and I get it. Um, so there's hope for him. I'm good. And I'm a 13-year. We're gonna see on this one. Yeah, he just they're headstrong, and that's part of the problem is being a parent is when they are headstrong. Hey, Lizzie Carter, welcome in. So it's you want them to be headstrong, but in the right direction. You know what I mean? I want you to do. I want you to have that independence and this self assured and take the world by the horns. But I just need you doing it the right way. making good choices and good decisions. You know, don't be out there causing trouble and discontent. But right now they're doing good. So hopefully they're oh shoo, and they run you through the ringer sometimes, baby. Oh my goodness! But I tell you what, it keeps life entertaining. I'll tell you, it is very entertaining the way they. My kid comes out here and asks me for kufe. What the heck are you talking about? Like, oh my goodness. Oh, okay. You gotta explain it to me. I'm usually not that slow, y'all. Usually I can pick up things. I interpret my grandbabies that are, still learning to speak. I can interpret their language, but my 9-year-old is out there asking for kufe. What are you asking for, hon? What's going on? Hmm, Yeah, I don't know. But he did. He had to explain it to me. I felt a little dummy down. I said, all right, all right. Oh, man. Mama Coop, I know you just waking up. You ready to go to work? Yeah, they do, Monica. They keep us entertained. They keep us busy. The spice of life right there, I tell you. The spice of life. It just, ooh. And like this weekend, we have my granddaughter and grandson, my other two grandbabies. They were actually supposed to go to their other grandparents' house. That was the plan. And my daughter called and told us that, hey, it's her husband's birthday weekend, and they were going to have the kids stay with the other grandparents, which is an odd. Usually they're here, but she said my granddaughter overheard her and got very upset and said, "No, I don't want to stay. I want to go to Papa and Yaya's." So they're here. Which, my husband was like, "Oh, really?" He was on, "Heck yeah." Um, yeah, and I was like, "Well, they're so used to being over here. When some grandparents don't do like baby diapers and things like that, and and it's okay. There's room for all types of grandparents. I get it. It's, it is what it is. But they've had the thing where they don't keep their grandbabies overnight until they're potty trained. That's one of the prerequisites, I guess. Very seldom do they take them if they're in diapers still, which is, to each their own. And we're not like we're the opposite. We're like, oh, give us the babies. We'll change them. We'll feed them. Um, now we are younger. My husband pointed out we're kind of younger than the other in-laws, but uh, with that, they've just become accustomed to this is what they're used to. This is their home away from home. They know what to expect here. They're comfortable here. Um, because they have been here so much from the very beginning. Oh, Mama Coop, how you get up at 2:45 in the morning? I'm sorry, I can stay up, but it's brutal for me to go to sleep and then have to wake up at that time. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. All right, Monica, you be right back. I can't. Like, I have to be up already. Be up and functioning and moving around. I work nights. Uh, you know, I leave my house 6:30 every night, and I usually listen to Mama Coop, guys. She has her live. She does. I'm listening to her on the way in, and I usually try to hit in chat. Hey, listening while driving to work, and then I put my phone down. I don't type anymore. And I'm driving to work. I listen all the way, and I'm good. Leave at 6:30 in the evening. I go to work. I'm usually home by 8 a.m. in the morning, 8:15, somewhere in there. And I can work all night, but it's hard for me to get up and get moving. 2:45 in the morning. Oh no. I, you know, and they say nothing good happens after midnight. Bull crap, y'all. That's not true. That's the biggest. That's the biggest fib out there, y'all. Biggest fib out there. I gotta tell you, all kinds of good stuff happens after midnight. Mm. See, Mama Coop, that's my problem. That's look. Bless your heart. 'Cause I don't look. That's exactly my problem right there. Yeah, having to get up at dark 30. It's like, and I'm a night owl already. Like I've always just been more of a night owl, and to have to adjust to that schedule is just kind of brutal. And it's like, ooh, and you stay up late, and you're like, I really have to get up. Good to be up here in just a few hours. Hopefully, you can get a little nap or something after work or something. Oh yeah, I know about not being able to sleep sometimes. Oh yeah, it gets I don't know, I get cat naps. I slept a little bit yesterday. I try to on Friday mornings. I try to stay up as long as I can and just grab a little nap so that I can kind of sleep more in the evening time. Although I try. That's what I'm gonna say is I try because um, that doesn't always happen. Um, I usually fall asleep, and I did. I caught a little nap. I think I slept about 2 hours, and then I laid back down and I slept another 45 minutes or so. And I got up, and then I was up for for a while, and then laid down with the grandbabies and you know tried to get quiet going because they were riled up and you know all excited. And it was like, ooh, it's after 9 o'clock. We got to get y'all sleeping because my grandson, he's got to have his sleep or he's not a happy camper. And then I ended up falling asleep, woke up, fell back asleep, woke up again. Then I was like, I'm getting up. That night shift, I try to get it balanced out, but it's really hard on the weekends to flop back and forth. And people who don't work nights don't understand. They're just like, it really is true. They don't understand when you're sleeping. Like okay, look, yeah, I went to the doctor's and I had before school started, so I had the four youngest kiddos with me, and they were in there. And, they had said to the doctor, "Oh, well, mom, she was sleeping," and the doctor looked. I don't even remember what the whole conversation was, but I just looked at him and I says, "Well, I do work nights. I have to sleep sometimes, and I sleep very little as it is. Anybody who knows who has kids and whether even if you don't work nights, you work during the day. As a mama, you just don't always get to sleep. You're gonna be up doing stuff. You got stuff to do. And I was like, I gotta sleep a little bit. And my daughter had said something sassy again about, well, you sleeping and da 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 da. And the doctor looked at her and he goes, your mother has to sleep. She has to get up and go to work. Da, 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 da. Like I couldn't believe the doctor was. I was like, oh, okay. It was nice to have a little bit of backup from the doctor. Like, thanks. Appreciate it because I think you could tell. I don't know how you sleep in the daytime with these guys. And we do have you know other adults here at the house. That, can hold down the fort for a little while I sleep 4 or 5 hours. That's usually what it is. Um, and that's just during the summertime. During the school year, it's a lot easier when they're at school, so I can sleep peacefully when they're at school. But then it's the endless battle of do I really want to sleep because they are at school. I have the whole house to myself. Maybe why I have a hard time sleeping during the day. Going, oh, but I could be doing this. I could be doing that. Da, da. But yeah, I gotta get a little bit of sleep. And there are mornings that I just fall out. I can barely make it in. I'm out for a while, but Fridays I try to adjust. Yeah, yeah, I'm a coop. It is hard for the day shift as well. It's part of parenthood. And why is it? Y'all, anybody else like this? Okay, usually, okay. The mom is the one that lacks the sleep. In my household, it is. The mom is the one who lacks the sleep. It's okay for me to not get sleep. And I, grin and bear through it. But oh, good God. If the dad doesn't get sleep, ooh, it's a bear. You know, I didn't get my sleep. Blah, 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 blah. And it looks sometimes I'm like, it must be nice. It must be real nice. He's like, no, don't get me wrong. My husband's gotten up and does his fair share of diaper changes and, bottle feeds and all that stuff. And he'd get the babies up and, mine were little because I breastfed all of them. He'd get up and wake me up. Hey, they're awake. They want to eat. Um, but those days are long gone. Our kids are older now, so we don't have to worry about it. Just with the grandbabies. The grandbabies. Yeah, he's gotten to experience a little bit of that. Again, I didn't remind him. I said, see, this is a lot of the times you weren't inconvenienced being awake at night, especially with the younger kiddos that we have, because, we did foster care, and I was doing that, full time. That was a full time, because we had a lot of kids, a lot of, we had 3 micro preemies at one time, and it was a lot, and there's no way. I mean, yeah, I could have worked outside of the home, but it would have been very, very difficult, very challenging. I don't know when I would have slept at that point, but between all the doctor's appointments and because they were, micro preemies, and we had one that had to go and get fitted for prosthetic, and um, so we had a lot of appointments at the Shrine Hospital and all this stuff. I mean, it's a constant back and forth, back and forth. You always got an appointment somewhere. Somebody's doing something. Um, yeah. So I was the one who was up at night, and he slept because he had to go to work. So yeah, he kind of missed out on that. He missed out on all those nighttime feeds with 3 micro preemies. Y'all try to do that. Whew, he couldn't have done it, y'all. I don't mean y'all do it. I meant like him try to do it. He would have been blind as a bat, sleeping with his eyes open. But he did. Look, I'm not complaining, y'all. I'm not trying to bash my husband at all because, you know, I was saying he would sleep, and then, during the day when he would come home, he'd let me get a nap, and he'd take care of the babies and that. He's very hands-on dad. Don't get me wrong. Okay, just inconvenient sleeping at night. He got spoiled. He got spoiled with that. He did. He got spoiled to the sleeping and not getting woke up. That's all right. I'm just enjoying right now. Everybody's sleeping, and they're the silence and the calm in the house is really nice, enjoyable. So it is nice if you're not sleeping to be able to enjoy that and appreciate it for a moment and take it in. And try not to be too creepy looking at him sleeping. Especially the youngest grandson. I don't go in there because I feel like if I go in there and stare at him, he'll wake up and look at me like, yeah, why are you looking at me? What's going on? What is going on? Oh man. Oh y'all been following that Emmanuel Haro case? Haro, or you pronounce it Haro? How do you pronounce it properly? Haro. Anybody's been following that case? Yeah, it is the best time on the coop. I love it. It's nice and still. It's the only time that my house is truly still. The dogs are sleeping. The babies are sleeping. The husband's sleeping. It's nice. But everybody watches that case. That case, they did. I mean, I talked about it on a live I did earlier today. Was they did make an arrest. They arrested both the parents, and the fact that they arrested the mom They arrested her on murder with malice. Not the dad, but the mom. And everybody's thinking the dad, and I'm like, what do they know? What do they know? Whoa. And they're over there searching that yard. Oh my gosh. Uh. Unbelievable. And then I wonder, well, did they stick her with that heavy charge, hoping she'll crack and break and tell them? Or, I don't know. I don't know. As everybody's waiting to see how that unfolds. But Dolly Vision was over there. He was there all day filming. Apparently JLR was too. I need to check out JLR's, I guess, because, his take is always entertaining. When I did watch Dolly, I never saw JLR, but he did speak about JLR being there. They were there before the actual news crews were there. And they were there for a while before the news crews got there. Crazy. They're first on scene, I guess. And Dolly just had that. He was just filming the whole time, I guess, just waiting. And yeah, I know they did film the. I did not see the part where the dad came out. I just saw where they had put the mom out in the car. She didn't. I don't know. But I could tell she didn't look like she was in a heap of mess or anything, tearful or anything. I don't know. That's one of these cases. I really wish that they would find the child and the child be okay. I really do wish that, but it's just heartbreaking to hear all these. Every time you turn around, there's another one. There's another one. What's going on? And hopefully they find him and they get some closure going for him, get justice for him, because that's. And you can see it's sad to see the pictures of that baby. And my sister pointed it out real quick. She goes, "Yeah, he has the look of abuse. That was an abused child." And if you follow those pictures, he really does. It's like you could see it in his eyes. But you know that look. You know that look. And it's just so disturbing to know he's only 7 months old. What the hell are you doing? He's 7 months old. He's a baby. And I said something to my husband about it. I was like, "Hey, have you followed that case?" And he's like, "What case?" I hadn't even heard about it. At least one of my daughters, she had heard about it, but he hadn't heard about it. And it's a couple out in California. They were saying that the baby was kidnapped and blah blah blah. And he just looked and he goes, "How old was the baby? How old?" 7 months old. And he's like, his reply was, "What the hell is wrong with these people? I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with them. It's crazy out there doing this bull crap." Oh, Fuzzball Factory, welcome in. Hello, hello. Hey, LTD. YouTube recommended this channel. Oh, that's surprising. That's cool though. That's cool to know. Welcome on in. Come on in. Join us. We do a little bit of everything over here, don't we, LTT? LTT knows. She's been here the whole time. We talk about all kinds of stuff. We've been caught up in drama before. We try to stay away. We just kind of chit chat. Anything, everything. Sometimes it's serious. A lot of times we like to laugh and joke around and keep it light and that kind of thing. What you doing up this time, LTT? You been to bed yet? Have you been to bed yet? LTT, it's 4:38 in the morning. Why aren't you sleeping? I'm glad you're not. You're in here. Did you just wake up? Yeah, Mama Coop just got up. She had to get up and get ready for work. Oh, you've been asleep? Good, good, good. Yeah, I slept earlier. I know Jenna was asleep and then woke up, and I think she's probably back asleep again now. Charlie girl hadn't been to sleep, so she said she was having a hard time going to sleep, and I said, I'll go live. You can listen to me talking. You'll fall asleep. And of course, we were chatting back and forth, and she had asked Jenna, did we wake you up? Hearing the notifications of the bing, bing, bing. I said, you know, Jenna didn't wake up like that. She sleeps like a vampire. She sleeps. You put a little rose in her hand. Which led me to question. They say vampires don't sleep, so why do they show them laying down in the coffin like they're sleeping all the time if they don't sleep? I question that. I don't know. Interesting. Hey, LTT, I need to ask Charlie Girl this because you know how it's already spring. Heck, it's Saturday morning already, isn't it? Yeah, it's Saturday morning, and I'm just wondering. I need to ask Charlie Girl. Did Buddy ever do that live with the competition for the music thing? Because they were supposed to give away a Target gift card, Target. It was going to be big money. You could shop at Target with it. Doing that music trivia thing. Charlie Girl was looking forward to it, but I don't think it ever happened. I need to ask. Oh, watching the true crime. Yeah, Fuzzball. I've been watching that one, and thank goodness this is that. Well, we'll have to wait, I guess, until they either admit to it, and I don't know, maybe they're rolling right now telling everything, or they find him, however it turns out. Hopefully it doesn't go on for years like some of these cases. Some of it's ridiculous, which I still question. How do you just lose a child? This is not Harry Potter, okay? They don't just walk through a brick wall and poof, disappear and, whatever. He did a trivia game. Did he do the contest Wednesday night? Because I know he did like a dry run, and Charlie Girl was in there, and it was actually fun, y'all. It was. Um, Charlie Girl had a chance, man. She had a chance at winning that gift card. And I was rooting for her, but I don't know if they actually had the competition where they were gonna play it. Like Night Owl, she was zipping up them titles too. I don't know. I know he was caught up in some other stuff, and I don't know if he ever did the trivia game. Night Shift, I lost track. Lost track of it. But I was glad to see that in the Emmanuel case that the police weren't messing around. I was glad to see that they're not messing around out there. They're on top of it. They're definitely going for it. Which some of the other cases you see and you're like, what y'all doing? I don't know. They were able to obtain. Apparently, there's a lot of video footage, but they've already said no. You said you had him here and you didn't. So the question is, when is the last time anybody saw him? Like, when was it? I don't know. And he's just a little baby, 7 months old, y'all. Just a baby. That breaks my heart. It's like, man, you should have been loving on him and cuddling him and just enjoying that babiness and, you know, nurturing them and getting them to grow and, making sure that they, encouraging them to sit up and to smile and to talk. And, it's sad to see the pictures of him and not one of those pictures is he smiling. That's very telling to me. It is. I'm not trying to pass judgment. It's just when you see pictures like that and you say, why isn't this baby ever smiling? Why, 7 months old, you should be able to capture pictures of them. Yeah, you're gonna have pictures where they're upset or they're kind of like, what are you doing? Um, but I hadn't seen one where he was smiling and happy. And to me, that's sad. Like I got all kinds of pictures of my babies when they were all, hey, you're like, what's going on? It's sad to me. What? They took all the pictures. What? Hold on. I know someone got mad because they paid him to play a song and he never did. Oh, Oh, uh-oh. Ah, buddy, you gotta get better. Somebody pays you money, you gotta pay it. You gotta play it, honey. Why are you gonna? Why pay somebody to play? I don't know. LTT, why are you gonna pay somebody to play a song? I don't know. Yeah, it does. It is heartbreaking, football. It's sad. Yeah, yeah. Well, fuzzball. We have kind of got a little negative sometimes. We try not to. You know, we really do try. We try to laugh a lot about a lot of the stuff that goes on. There are some subject matters that you just can't laugh about. There's some that are just off limits, but for the most part, we just go sit back and chill around here. But he was playing the trivia game then. Oh, LTT. Yeah, they took all the pictures. Yeah, yeah. Why? I don't know. That's just messed up. But look, I'm the opposite of some of these. Like, I know, like in Summer Wells' case, they were getting rid of all her stuff. Remember that? LTT, I know you remember that. Anybody else watch the Summer Wells case? They got rid of, like, her toys and stuff. Y'all, I'm horrible about it, okay? I would be holding on to every stitch of clothing, every little toy. I don't care what it was. I would hold on to her plates, her cups, her, sippy cup, whatever it was. I would be holding on to it, waiting for her to come home. I couldn't. I couldn't just get rid of it. I just couldn't. Like my brother's stuff. Both my brothers are gone, and I have some of their stuff, and I cannot let it go. I absolutely will not. Like my mom's stuff, I can't let it go. That's my problem. I know, but I just feel like it's part of them. I can't get rid of it. So, how could you have a child who's missing? Get rid of all their pictures. Get rid of their toys, their clothes. No, absolutely not. So to me, if you're getting rid of their stuff, you you're that sure they're not coming? I don't. I don't know. To me, that just is like, well, something happened. Yeah, exactly, Buzzball. Look, my oldest is 32, and my youngest are the twins that are 9. My kids range in age, and I have 12 kids, so there's a big age span. If you'd asked me a long time ago if I ever thought I'd have that kind of age difference between my kiddos, no, I would not. I thought 12 years from the oldest to the youngest biological babies was a good gap. But yeah, we've, we've got a pretty big gap in age, and it works. It's good. Um, I just can't imagine. They found evidence. Oh, LTT, you've heard something I haven't heard. See, I wasn't. I fell asleep and I haven't checked on that case. So they have found. Oh, good golly. And you know what? That's look. My. I'm thinking. Okay, that the mom may not have been lying completely about it. She probably did get punched. She probably did pick herself up off the floor. She may have gotten knocked out. Or maybe when she woke up, the baby was no longer with us. He was gone, whatever, okay? Um, but I'm thinking it was at the hands of the dad, probably. I don't know. Maybe it was her. Maybe, Oh, oh, LTT. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I'm sorry, honey. Yeah, I know. It's hard to hold it together. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is very difficult to go to those. Yeah. Yeah, but I know you hold on to your mama stuff. Look, I got a craft room full of my mama stuff. My mama told me, just all of this is yours. All of her craft stuff. She goes, all of my stuff is yours. You can have all of it. And my dad kind of took that. He's my stepdad, but I call him dad. Um, he took it seriously and was ready to stand over every little thing of hers. And he's like, "Well, this is hers," like decorations of the house and this, that, and the other. Paintings she had done, and And I was like, "No, Dad, you're gonna want that. I'm not." He goes, "Well, your mom said it's all yours," and I says, "Dad, I'm not taking anything out of this house that you don't want me to take. I'm not willing to take from him because of my mom's." You know what I mean? And he's like, "No, it's all you can have whatever you want." And um, I said, "One day you're gonna want to have it here to remind you, and that you're gonna look at it and you'll find comfort in it. And I can't take that from you." So he was ready to let me have every little bit of it. And I said, I can't. That's not right. I'm not going to argue over material things because that's not what's important. If he needed to have every thread of everything in that house still there, I would have absolutely left everything there. Um, but I got a lot of her craft. I still got to get her desk and her shelves and stuff. One of these days, I'll get out there to get it. But I got to inherit all of her things, and she's the one who got me into making jewelry. You know that. 'Cause she's the one who kept telling me, "I've got all this jewelry stuff here." And I was like, "Mom, I don't really make jewelry, but you know, I know other people who do, and da da da." And she kept saying it like, "Here's here's the jewelry. I need you to make this stuff." And she says, "Well, if you don't want to, but it's still yours." Okay. So she's the one who got me into doing the jewelry stuff, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I don't know why I didn't think I would. It just, yeah, I enjoy it. And I have a lot of pieces that she's made, and I can't let them go. Why? I don't know. I have them, and I'm like, nope, that was my mom's. I'm holding on to it. That was my mom's. I'm holding on to it. You know, um, I do. I, I did, give the kids. They all got to pick, you know, necklaces and jewelry that she had made. The scarves and the hats and purses. All the stuff that she crocheted that I have, and the knitting and all that stuff. She did it all. And I have paintings, and um, I know my daughter had said that she wanted to have a painting of grandma's, and so I let her get one of her paintings. And my kids are, I appreciate the fact that my kids cherish that stuff. That's I love that. I because some kids just are like, it is whatever it is. Like with um, my brother's stuff. I had my sister and I went and we got stuff for each one of our kids. You know, picked out. When we were going through his things, and um, say, hey, you think your son would like this? You think your daughter wants this? This, that, kind of thing. So I know there was a blanket that had Batman on it, and my brother and my oldest were very, very close and hung out a lot. So when I saw that Batman blanket, it's one of those not fleeces, but the plush cushiony one, the really soft ones. Um, I saw that blanket and I said, "Oh my gosh, that's for my oldest." Like I immediately knew that's his because he loves Batman. Let me rephrase it. My oldest is a Batman fanatic. Okay, um, so I had it washed it and folded it up, and when he came for a visit one time, I put it on the table, and sitting there, we're talking. I go, "Oh yeah, this is for you," and he kind of looked at me like a blanket, and I said, "This was Uncle Waylon's, and I knew that this was for you." And he said, "Oh." And he looked at it and folded it up, and he took it so quick. He took it so quick, and he's like, "Thank you." And then there was another one that had an eagle and a flag on it. and that one's my youngest, who's in the Navy. So it's like this one's for you, and that was meant for you. But they cherish them, and I love that they do. That they appreciate those things, and like with my mom's stuff, they all got to pick out. And I thought for sure, oh, they're gonna be like, I don't want any of the jewelry, but no, they did because my mom made stuff like necklaces and stuff that are for men too. She didn't. She was a Mickey Mouse fan. Oh, I love Mickey Mouse too. Yes, yeah, Fuzzball, that's true. See, it's nice to hold on to them. I have the dresses my daughter gave back to me. Well, my mom mailed them to me so that I could give them to her when we found out the first grandbaby was coming, and it was a girl. My mom got in there crocheting her heart out, made some beautiful, beautiful little dresses and little bonnets for her. And my daughter had, you know, handed them gave them back to me, and she's like, here, just keep them for safekeeping. In other words, she's a minimalist. She didn't want it in her house, but I could, store it in mine. And so I have those for one day when my granddaughter gets older, and you can tell her your Gigi made this for you, and you wore it when you were a baby. Yeah, I keep those kind of things. I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for it. And I mean, I still have baby clothes from my oldest kids and stuff. Oh yeah. Well, LTT, that is so cool because I have the necklace that my dad gave me at my mom's memorial service, and that tattoo we got is based off of. That's what it is. The infinity heart necklace, and I wasn't ever going to take it off until my grandson got his hand caught up in it and broke that thing off of me. I was devastated, and I can't fix it because it's a teeny, teeny, tiny chain. So I need to go and take it back to the jewelers and see if they can fix it for me. I don't want another necklace because that was a necklace that my mom wore. I want the same necklace. I just want it fixed. So I'm hoping they can fix it. Fingers crossed. But I guess if I got a really strong magnifying glass and some little itty bitty chain, I might be able to fix it. But I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna try though. Hopefully they can fix it. I'm telling them, don't even be trying to dupe me and switch it out because I don't know. I want the same chain. Yeah, my mom's wedding rings, my dad has those. I couldn't take those from him. Um, he posted a picture of the stained glass snowflake he made for her just the other day. Oh, she was a cake maker. My mom did some cake. My mom cooked and growing up and stuff, but she never really did cooking as a hobby or cakes or anything like that. She'd make them for family reunions and holidays and stuff like that. I like to bake. I do bake a lot. Right, Fuzzball? Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. You keep that stuff, and one day they'll cherish it like you do. You know, that's what. And I know my granddaughter. She's only 3. She's almost 4. She's getting ready to turn 4, but she is. She cracks me up. I think she's gonna be like me because, you know, she has things. Like I made her a bunch of little bracelets, and she's like, my yaya made that. She's real protective over them. She had one. I didn't make it for her. It was one. It was a little store bought bracelet, little beaded bracelet somebody gave her, and it got broke, so she had to put it in a baggie, and she told her mom I had to take a fix it. So she brought me this little beads that she could find. Collected them up, put them in that bag, and brought it over here for me to repair for her. I was, oh, so sweet. Okay. So I'm gonna have to fix that bracelet for her. It cracked me up. Alright. But she values stuff like that too. She likes all that little stuff. She loves to go in the craft room and look at all the stuff. And, she likes the resin pieces that I've made for her. So her mom's like, okay, that's you got all this little stuff. She got little jewelry boxes, little, you know, I made a little crown, with a little lid on it, put her little stuff in there. She loves all that little stuff. She's like, oh yeah, what's she gonna do with it? I don't know. She has it. I crocheted a fish, you know. I didn't have a pattern or anything. I just did it, and she loves that thing. She loves that thing. She still has it. I gave it to her like 2 years ago, over 2 years ago. She still has it. Plays with it all the time. Oh, she did LTT. Man, we've done a few weddings. Not to throw a wedding together. I had my aunt. She got married here at the house. We had to throw a wedding together real quick for her. Got the arch and everything, decorated it, and decorated the house. We just, she had a little wedding. And then we did the 2 weddings in Tennessee. That was fun too. We enjoyed it. We had a good time. Charlie Girl and I were busy, busy, busy. Could have done it without Charlie Girl, y'all. Oh my goodness. Charlie Girl can put some floral arrangements together like nobody's business, let me tell you. I went and got the flowers for my sister's bouquet, and I could do it, okay? And it would have been alright. I'm not into, I'll attempt to do any kind of craft, right? Doesn't mean I should, but I'll attempt it. And it would have been alright. But Charlie Girl has got, man, I was like, look, can you put it together? Because she can put a floral arrangement together like nobody's business. And so she did. I appreciate it. I love her so much for that because my sister's bouquet was absolutely gorgeous. And Indica's was gorgeous too. Her daughter made hers. So it was, they had two lucky brides there, had beautiful bouquets and everything. And it was what, my sister wanted more of a bohemian, bohemian type vibe. Oh, fuzzball. I get that. I get that because I used to crochet really, really tight too, and I still time to time will. My mom would always be telling me, "Yeah, you gotta be light. You gotta loosen up. The stitches are too tight." It's hard. And then I don't hold the crochet hook like most people do. I hold it like my mama did, like you're writing. That's how I hold my crochet hook. I've tried to switch over to the other way, thinking it would be easier, and it might be, but it's hard. And, I started crocheting when I was a kid, so I've always held my crochet hook the way I have, and come to find out that it's not technically the correct way. I thought, oh my goodness. Well, it works for me though. Oh, LTT, that's cool though. We should get together and do weddings and stuff. I do love to decorate and you know, to do all that stuff. It's awesome. It's fun. Yeah. Like, relax. It's supposed to be fun, but it's not so fun when you miss a stitch. You drop a stitch, or you're like, oh my gosh, and you had to undo it all. My mom used to sit there. She was so patient with it. She would go back and say, oh, and she'd go, psh, just pull it out and start over again. And me, and I'm like, oh, no. I get too frustrated with it. But she has a lot of patience with it. But she'd always see it before she got too far along. Yeah. I have some Afghans and stuff that I've made. I prefer to do like baby Afghans. Because they're quicker than the full size ones. And I'm one who likes. Look, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I like to see the instant I'm more of an instant gratification. Okay, like I can take time to do a project. Resin, that's long enough. Having to wait like 24 hours to demold. That's enough tension for me. But Afghans, it is harder for me to complete those. I really have to get on myself to complete it. But the baby Afghans, the smaller ones, I can complete them a lot quicker. A little like the Halloween costume, things like that. I can do those. But something that takes me months to finish or something, it's harder. I really have to have some discipline on that. So what I do is I just don't start it. I just don't do it. I'm being honest here, guys. I'm like, yeah, that's too big of a project. I already know. I'll start it and I won't complete it. So let me just not do it. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, LTT. I got one of those too. The arch, and it's come in handy, and you can use it for so much stuff too. You know, we can use it for birthdays and baby showers, and 'cause my kids when they do their baby showers and gender reveals and the grandbabies' birthdays and stuff, like it's a big to do. You know, they go all out. They do the balloon arches and you name it. They've got the displays. So, wait a second. Are you serious? Hold on, Fuzzball. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Now, this is something we can talk about. Look, look, look. LTT. LTT knows. LTT, I think LT knows a lot of my story. Yes, I was adopted. Yes, I was. I was adopted when I was 4. I was the middle child of 5. It took another 5 years for my siblings to be removed and to be placed for adoption. Um, it took till I was 28 and I finally located them. We were not adopted together, obviously. Um, yeah, and yeah, for the medical background, absolutely. I completely get where you're coming from on that. Um, and I've told my story, and I've thought about this too, doing LTT. You'd probably be like, no, honey, I've already heard it. Please don't go over it again. I've thought about it because we have talked about it, and but it was a while ago. So I thought about, hey, you know what, maybe we should do a couple lives where I do discuss this again, and for people coming in that haven't heard it. Um, yeah, it's um, adoption. Like I said, it took me till I was 28 to find them, and I have I helped my brother who was adopted a year after me. I got him back in contact with his birth family. We've got some friends who he didn't know who his dad was, and I found his dad for him. Um, located him. So yeah. I have a friend. We were trying to locate her brother, and that's still ongoing. That's been a long time. Not been discussed. Well, I think we found him, but that's a long story. Long, long story. It was hard. Oh, ancestry. Yeah. Do you have a birth name? Like, do you know your birth name or anything? Adopted out of Louisiana. Yeah, CLTT knows. Adopted out of Louisiana. It's if you have a birth name, it's a lot easier. You know, obviously, if you know a name, and especially now with the way the internet is, um, it's a lot easier. You got to just do a lot of cross referencing and I know when I found my siblings, it was the internet was out there. It just wasn't what it is today. Facebook did not exist. MySpace did not exist yet. I don't believe. It was very caveman still. You know, like you could do emails, and we thought it was high tech, but it really wasn't all that high tech then. Um, that was back AOL. AOL ruled the internet back then. Um, you didn't have people's profiles out there like you do today. So it was a little bit more challenging. It was searching names and, a lot of it's all sealed. And see, that's hard. That's really, really hard. Um, I think there is, I'll look into it, but I think that I know in certain states there's ways you can try to get them unsealed. You can petition the courts and, yeah, so you're adopted by your biological dad. We have the same mom. Mm, see, the the ancestry for some people that's worked. There's been hits, and like there is that. Have you seen that show? Right? I do watch it, and I don't know how long ago it came out. I don't know if it's new or not because I watched the video. I watch them on YouTube. Okay, um, so they could be kind of old, But the Who Am I? Where they do and it's usually the stars, movie stars and stuff. Um, where they do the ancestry and they make a connection to like some fifth cousin down, and they have to track it back, and they can track who you are and kind of get it that way. That's a lot of research. Oh, man. Well, I'm in Texas. I mean, if they don't know what you look like, I could pretend to be you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. LTT, you could go in there and pretend to be her. No, I'm just kidding. We can't do that. That's illegal. We'd be in big trouble. But hmm, you'd have to get in front of a judge and do it. Yeah, I think you do have to go to court, but I know there's ways you could. You may, and that's the thing that's so frustrating though, is to find out who you are for it to actually. Uh, it's frustrating to have to cost you financially, and that's as I say, if you got an attorney, you may be able to do it, and with Zoom calls and stuff like they are. I know that is maybe something that could happen too. Oh, Mama Coop, have a good day at work. I hope you survive getting your hour and a half of sleep. Good luck. Oh, be careful. Yeah, Fuzzball, we could get in trouble for that. We got to try and stay on this side of the bars. You know what I mean? Not the three hots and a cot might not be a nice little break for a little bit, but yeah, I like to be able to smoke my cigarettes, drink my coffee with my creamer, and I just don't think they're going to do it for me. Yeah, the county, yeah, yeah, I don't. There are a lot of things that you could try to do. Um, like I said, Skype. There may be. We need to look into that. There may be attorneys that do like a pro bono situations. There might be. There, there are some attorneys that will do pick up cases for adoption. We need to look into that. Do you know what? I mean, I'm not trying to be nosy or anything, but kind of like the area in Texas. Um, because we do have a lot of people here in Texas that are, I know where I'm located. If I could do anything to help you out, I would. Depending on proximity and how far it is. Texas is a big state, though. You're talking to Amarillo, honey. That takes me 8 hours to get out there. That's a little bit harder to do. I'm just saying. Couple hours though. I can get there in a few hours. I can get down to LTT. I've been down there where she's at. Oh, fuzzball. That would be horrible. That right there is enough reason. You're right. Three hot on the cot doesn't sound so good, does it? You say on this side of the bar. You know, the bars are no. If we were to have Lori, could you imagine having her as a roommate? Oh my gosh, no, no, absolutely not. I could not. Oh my gosh, you're right. Or what's that other one? Um, what is that other one? LTT. What's the one in Wisconsin? You know, the one that Heidi. You know, her son knew her. Giselle. What was their last name? It was a weird last name. The one that. Oh, it's horrible. She chopped him up. Remember? Yeah. Maybe a log in the Zoom call. I might be able to get it somewhere. And really doing it from a medical standpoint, that is something that I think is very important for people have a right to know. We all have a right to know our medical, and that is the one thing about adoption that is it is really challenging, is you don't have any idea. And I used to have to answer those questions for a lot of years. You know, oh, do you have heart disease in your family? Do you have this? Do you have that? And I'm like, look, this is all I do know. You know, and then they look at you like you're crazy, and you're like, I was adopted, and they're, oh, well, do you know? Do you know what? I already told you I was adopted. Don't ask. If I haven't already told you what it is, because I don't know. You have to rub it in. Yes, Shabusiness. Shabusiness. That's who it is. Yes, that was. Oh my gosh, that was a horrible, horrible case right there. Well, I get her as a roommate. Could you? Oh my gosh, we'd be fighting for our life every day. Shabusiness. Shabiz. I don't know. Shabiz. Whatever. Yeah, I know what. I don't know how to spell it either. But she was crazy, crazy. There was definitely something. How anyone walked through life seeing her on the streets and not know it, like, you can look at her and tell in her eyes she is as crazy as they come. What in the world? How do you sit there and, oh my goodness. She is crazy, y'all. She's something wrong with her. I mean, her and Lori Daybell is scary too. And Lori Daybell, she up there, Daybell, I can say it. Give me a second. I'll say it right. Um, Sitting up there representing herself. Oh my God. Yeah, she's still acting crazy. I mean, really, to do what they did, you know, they're a little crazy, right? Well, not a little crazy. They got to be way crazy. They did some crap. Nobody in their right mind could do what the heck they did and be all right. No way. No way. But I just wonder, I'm like, oh my gosh, how did you guys go on a daily basis with these two? Like, you know, people were interacting with you. They had to have seen you're crazy, your level of crazy. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's easier sometimes to do that fuzzball because I tell you, that was one of those things that was kind of exhausting. That's like, okay, we really got to go through this again. How many times I got to tell you? You know? Yeah, they're both crazy. Which, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's scary to see people who can pull it off, right? Like, you got all kinds of people out there, but you got these people who can pull it off and commit some of the most heinous crimes and appear normal, right? You know what I'm talking about? Like, you come across, and you know, they don't present as crazy, crazy at first, you know? And then you got these two, and you're looking at them, and you're like, there's no way you ever pulled off that you were normal. Like, you weren't crazy and out of your gourd. There's no way. I mean, how? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, Lorena Bobbitt. Well, LTT, I don't know about that. Look, I don't know if she's really crazy. I mean, I say you push a woman too far. There you go. I mean, at least it was just, I mean, she didn't completely demolish him. I mean, he was still able to have it, glued back on. I mean, the fact is she went, look, I'm not trying to look, that's horrible. Y'all don't ever do that, okay? I'm not trying to, don't ever do it. I understand you made me upset at your man, but refrain from chopping this thing off if you can. But the fact that she rode around town with that thing in her car, threw it out the window, and then went and told him where she threw it. How in the world did that thing survive? I don't know, but they was able to put it back on. I don't know. I guess they used Gorilla Glue or something. I don't know how in the world they did that, but that's amazing. I mean, people lose a finger. You got to put it in a cooler in a certain amount of time, or it just can't be put back on. But yet the Peter, they go throw that out the window into a field, and don't worry, we're gonna put it right back up there. I mean, I don't know. That's weird. Oh, Lori's adult son on YouTube. He wrote her a letter saying goodbye, and he's sorry. Oh no. Now, see, why is he? I mean, why is he sorry? I didn't see that. I'm gonna have to. I know, Buzzball. Exactly. They glued it back on. He's now doing, special movies. He's doing special videos. That's an amazing plastic surgeon right there. An amazing plastic surgeon. And all I could think is if that had been somebody's finger or arm or something, and they threw it out in the field, they would have been like, "Up, it's no good. We can't put it back on. Sorry." But you got the Willy Wonka down there, and they say, "Yeah, we can put that back on." Oh, yeah, I know. Well, I mean, I don't know how else they would put it back on. I, I don't know. That was a very skilled surgeon, I think. I don't know. See, Fuzzball also was afraid you were going to say he was blaming himself. So I was like, why is he sorry? Why are you blaming yourself? That's completely on her. He didn't do that. Oh my god, that poor thing. Oh my gosh, that poor young man. That's and see, you don't think about stuff like that. The guilt that the survivors feel like he survived her. How did he get to adulthood? I mean, my gosh. And now he's feeling guilty. I sure hope you don't feel guilty about her because she's exactly where I wouldn't say exactly where she should be, but she's locked up. She needs to be. She is out there. Out. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah. Yeah, that child didn't do anything LTT. He doesn't need to, that's sad to me. That I hope he's, getting some help for that, and some guidance and counseling that he understands it's not his fault. He didn't make those choices. He wouldn't do. But there's no telling. Look, and that kind of tells you too. That's how she worked him over, huh? That's how crazy she is. Yeah, you worked him over so good. You got this, this young man thinking, he needs to apologize for your grotesque bullshit you put out there. What you did. It was horrible. Oh my goodness. And you just think, okay, this isn't gonna happen anymore. This is it. This is it. And then another case pops up. And another case. Now we got Emmanuel. It's like, oh my gosh. And then you think, there's a lot of cases we don't even hear about, y'all. Think about that. There's so many we never even hear about. They don't make national news. They don't make the big, YouTube streets. Because YouTube covers a lot of them now at this point. I think a lot of it we hear more about because of YouTube. So that's a plus, you know. That, well, I don't know if I would really say it's a plus, but we do get to hear about it and we know more about it because, you know, the news isn't putting it all out there all the time. Oh, no. Yeah, that's sad. Yeah, I really do hope he gets some help with that because that's just not. Hey, Indica, what's up, woman? You just waking up? Or you haven't been asleep yet? That's my other night owl right there, Indica Sunshine. She's a night owl, yo. What you doing, Indica? We just out here talking about all kinds of stuff, actually. I just I really hope he gets the help. I don't know. That's so sad to me. See, look, I could never do anything like that, anyways. But I don't ever want my children to feel guilty for something that I've done or I've said. How would you? That's how she worked him over. That's just kind of what kind of parent she was. That you got this young man thinking that what you've done in your life is his fault. That he didn't do enough to stop it. No, that's sad. Oh my goodness. Hey, look, Anna could come in. She'd say, hey, my sister, and that's it. She's saying, look, Indica. What is she doing? Well, it's 6:30 there. Sorry, Indica, I didn't mean to dox your time zone. I apologize. Mm, I'm so sorry to dox your time zone. We just solved a cold case of 4 cases of Legends. Oh, really? What case is that, LTT? You need to send it to me. I know these old cases that they're solving. We were talking about Jack the Ripper case the other day. Yes, exactly, Fuzzball. Exactly. She sits there and she's brainwashing them. So much so that her son's sitting here taking accountability for her actions, and he had absolutely nothing to do with it. That tells you a lot right there. Absolutely tells you a lot. So you right now, my kids wouldn't take accountability for something I've done. They know better. My adult kids. And my little kids wouldn't either. They'd tell me, "Mom, you did that." Oh, I did, didn't I? Hold on. Got me the water running time to time. Sorry. Oh, DNA caught him. That's what I'm telling you. DNA will get you every time. DNA solved Jack the Ripper case. It sure did. Trying to think, who was talking? It was somebody's channel was talking about Jack the Ripper. Who was it? Oh, Jay Marie. Jay Marie, we were in there. She did a late night because she couldn't sleep. She had insomnia going, I guess. And we were talking about scary stuff. We were talking about the Halloween stuff. Um, which, like I said, I got a friend who's willing to go to the graveyard with me. Uh, you know, he said he would. I said, I know you'll do it with me. He goes, yeah, I will. All right, cool. So we might do that. I think, weren't you in there, LTT? I think were you in there that night in J. Marie's? Trying to remember. Y'all know we go into all these chats and I'm already. Oh, is my sound cutting out? Oh, I hope not. Yeah, yeah. I'm here. Yes, the new DNA. Exactly. The new DNA. It's solving a lot of cases. Sometimes it's sad because it's solving cases proving that the person wasn't guilty and they've already been, you know, had the death sentence. And there's some of them that it proves that they were innocent, and they've already spent 30 years locked up. Um, but the cases that it is able to solve, it is, yeah, nice. But yeah, we were gonna do that. You weren't in there, LTT. Okay. Well, on Jay Marie's, we were talking about, you know how it is. One thing leads to another, to another, to another. I don't know. We just started talking about, with Halloween coming up, and we were talking about the Annabelle dolls, and it was late night, so we might as well talk about scary stuff. But we were saying, hey, you know what we should do is, like, each channel go out. You can either do a video or do a live or whatever. But with Halloween coming up, like, go to the graveyards or go to a scary haunted place and tour it, like video it for a while. And we were talking about the Goatsman Bridge that's here. I don't think I'll do that because I've heard some really bad things. Oh, you like the paranormal? Yep, true crime, cats in my family. Woo woo. There you go. Come on in. Yeah, we do kind of talk about that. We do, like I said, we talk about anything and everything over here, and it gets, like, oh yeah, we have ADHD conversations. It's. Yeah, LTT, but they can get all the money, but 30 years. I mean, yeah, that's fine. You pay the money, but you can't get back those 30 years they kept you incarcerated for something you didn't do. Like, bless their hearts. I remember that guy, he was 30 years in there, and he came out, had a smile on his face, and he was just grateful to be free. And my heart really hurt for him because I thought, man, you're awesome. Yeah, you got money, but that's a long time to, do time for a crime you didn't commit. The money in the world, all the money in the world, I don't think. Oh, you have heard of that bridge, Fuzzball? It's scary. And I've had people want me to go, and I'm like, I'm not going. I'm sorry. That's one thing. Look. You give me to do a graveyard, okay? That's gonna be scary enough. But the Ghostman Bridge, I don't think I'm gonna mess with that one. I don't know if there's enough sage in the world to keep me protected from that. I don't know. There's some bad things that happen, and Ghost Adventures did a tour of that bridge, and you know, I don't know. It's known around here. I mean, I definitely could get there. It's up there north of north of Dallas up there, but I just don't know. It looks scary. It looks like it's got bad vibes to it. And, mm, I don't know. I know there's a state mental hospital not too far from me, and y'all know if you drive by those places and you get those bad vibes, you know what I'm talking about? Like you can just feel it, and you're like, ooh, there's a little something in the air. And you look and you see this creepy building. I went there one time because it said hospital, and I was had to take one of my kids in. And we were new to the area. Boy, I learned real quick. Uh, that was not the hospital that I needed to be taking my children to. Uh, but I was like, oh my gosh, the place was creepy. I'm like, it's got some bad vibes there. Mm. Yeah, you get that sage out, burn it. Like I said, I don't know if there's enough sage in the world to protect us from the Goatsman Bridge. It's, from what I hear, it's pretty brutal. But I think that mental hospital there is one too. You probably need to sage yourself really good before you walk in there. I don't even think I would not even want to work. I would not want to work there. I don't think I could. It's a very creepy, like a fairly sad, depressed. I can't do it. Let's go, Indica. Indica, you gonna go there with me? Charlie Girl's out. She don't do scary. She don't like the scary stuff. She does not do scary. Oh, yeah. See, you drive by it and you're like, I'm not doing that. I think that's how Ghostman Bridge would be for me. I mean, I just see it on TV and I think, I'm not doing it. Get a little closer to it. Mm-mm. The R Town. No, T Town. T Town one. Come on, Indica, let's go. Where you want to go, girl? You would not to the mental hospital because I think maybe that's what it is. If I go to the mental hospital, they'll try to check me in. They'll be like, "Oh, you must be a resident here." No, I'm not. I swear. Jenna will go with. No, I don't know if Jenna will go with us. I think she's a scaredy cat. I got a friend who will go with us though. He'll go with us. I don't think Jenna will go. I don't. I don't know if she'll go do the scary. I don't think she will. We'll make her go though. We'll drag her. We'll tell her we're going for something else and she'll just go. We'll tell her we're taking her to Chuck E. Cheese. Oh, we're going to do this instead. We changed our minds. Really? They used to give tours? Yeah. Well, I don't know. Those old hospitals like that, there's a vibe there that I'm just not comfortable with. I gotta tell you, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. Those are ones that I have a hard time with. That's that I do have a hard time with it. That energy that you feel off of it just creeps me out. The tours, I guess I could do it, but it would take a lot. My anxiety would probably be pretty high, yeah. Or pop a couple Xanaxes, get it going. Be like, all right, I'm ready to roll. Let's go. I don't know. I don't think you should do that either. I think you should be about your wits when you go to a place like that. What if I got all relaxed and everything and those entities were like, hey, hello, we're coming in. Like, oh, heck no. I got enough going on in my head. I don't need to let that in here. Oh, ooh, when you got 11 years old. Oh, man. Okay. All right. You're going to have to do that. Look, we could do a live. Halloween's coming up, y'all. We need to do one of those lives where we do the ghost stories. Or, we say ghost stories, spirit, entities, whatever, scary stories or things that have happened. I think everybody's got those stories if they. Oh, the doctor up yours, LTT, you good? Okay, you good. Indica, you think the book is right? You know what, Indica, they probably would run for you. I hear you now. Don't you be coming over here messing with me like that. They'd be like, all right, leave her alone. Yeah. Yeah, TT, look, I'm telling you. Up it and good to go. Got you into the paranormal. Yeah, see? I think sometimes some people have to they do see things and you're like, it's not in my imagination. It's not, I'm not, we're not Lori Daybell here. We're not crazy like that. Shabusiness. That's, no. I do think that we see things sometimes and you know, you do. Oh, LTT, are you kidding me? Your doctor has to follow you on Facebook. Oh my gosh, that's cool. Your doctor said, look, I've been tracking you on Facebook. We're going to up your medication, okay? Oh, no. You know what? I've been pretty quiet on Facebook. I have to say, I don't, and then tell people happy birthday and stuff. Oh, that's cool. I comment on other people's, but I don't even know when the last time I posted on Facebook was. Hmm. Seeing is believing. That's actually, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Fancy. Yeah. Well, Fancy, that's actually Fuzzball. We're referring to Fancy, that's my sister, Gloria. It's my biological sister. She's the oldest. She's much older and much wiser than I am. Well, much older. I'm just kidding. No. She's actually only 3 years older than me. That's why I like to rub it in. My much older and much wiser sister. But she goes, yeah, she's gone to the graveyards and stuff. Her and her husband go. Well, a couple of her grandkids love to go and do that too. Oh, that's good, LTT. Got it in. My doctor that was, I'm so sad because our doctor's retired. And you could text her. She's like, send me a picture. Let me see what's going on. They retired. So that was kind of, I'm happy for them that they got retirement, but I'm sad for myself and my kids, you know, that they are retired. But we've got another doctor that stepped up that's really good too. So he took over the business and we're okay. But I do miss my doctor. Just when you get a good one, they leave you. Yeah, it's nice when you have a doctor that you can text and and she would call and check on us. Like you don't get that very often. She would call us at night after working hours. My daughter had to have a couple surgeries, and every time after the surgery, she had gone in to see her, and she's like, "Okay, you need to go. We're gonna have to send you over to the hospital." Blah 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 blah. You know, and sure enough, she'd have to have surgery, and she would call us, and she'd be checking on her. Hey, how's she doing? Blah blah blah. She'd call and check on me. How your blood sugar's doing? How you doing with this? Like you just don't get a whole lot of doctors who are, who do that still. So it's nice. Oh, yeah, look, I do coffee all the time. I'm coffeeed up. I sleep with coffee. It's fine. You know, coffee doesn't even keep me awake anymore. I don't think um, but yeah, I don't know if we go on Halloween. I'm thinking maybe we should go to the graveyard prior to Halloween, to get ready for it. I'm just afraid, like, because I asked my friend, and he's like, "Oh, I've got some right past where I live that are, blah blah blah." I was like, "All right, okay, and I was thinking, maybe we should go on Halloween because do you think the police will kick us out? Like, I can see it now. I don't have a run-in with the law, but I'm gonna have a run-in on Halloween, just trying to tour a graveyard, not doing anything, crazy or anything. I don't want to disturb I don't want to disturb the spirits there. I just want to come and hang out, just look around and stuff. But you never do it before. Are you doing that way? LTT, man, you should come up here. We could go together. That would be awesome. If I could get some time. Wonder where we could meet that would be like halfway. Jasper's not too far from you. It's not too far from me. Well, it's about 3 hours or so. Like 2.5, 3 hours. Something like that. If I drive real fast, I can make it quicker. Make it there lickety split. Yeah, we could find one somewhere in the middle. 45. We got to go up and down on 45. See, I don't. When I go down there though, I always take the back roads. Hardly ever go down 45, 35. Third. Going down there to Jasper and all that. Yeah, Jasper's a lot closer to you. Lumberton is even closer. And we got that good Greek restaurant. We could hit that Greek restaurant up. Haven't been there since I worked down there last. That was a good little place too. Um, There's gotta be. I bet you there's some old ones down there too. Of course, you know, you could always go to Louisiana. I bet you we'd find some scary ones over there. I don't know if we should be messing in Louisiana though. Louisiana's got that, you know, the voodoo stuff over there. I don't know. We should probably stay away from Louisiana stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. Buzzball, that makes sense. Well, Indica, you need to get out here. Get out here. We could drive down. Man, we need to get this together, y'all. Halloween's coming up. See, your family's LTT. We're staying away from that Cajun stuff. I don't know. I think that's a little bit, uh, yeah, that's a little different there. I don't know about that. That voodoo, that voodoo stuff over there is kind of scary a little bit. I'm just saying, I don't think I want to mess around if you know, I just don't know. We should go to a graveyard there and we see chicken bones hanging up like a wind chime, you know. I think I'm out. That I would be, I'd be out of that. I would. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna tell you. I'd be like, okay, we're out of here. We need to go find, you know, we need one that doesn't have chicken bones as a wind chime. That's all. Yeah, I think that would be. I don't know. I think just touring a graveyard would be enough for me. Would be enough. I mean, I'm good watching it on TV, y'all. I can watch it on TV. I'm good, but to be there, present with it, like, you know, and I'm, you know, look, honestly, I mean, each their own. Okay, no judgment, whatever. It just, I like my chicken. I like my chicken. I care about my chicken out there. I just don't want to see those chicken bones in a wind chime in a graveyard. Yeah, see, Indica don't want to be around no voodoo either. I think, you know, yeah, we could skip that part. Yeah, don't be messing with the voodoo stuff. I'm just saying that I think we might want to just stick to this side of the. Oh yeah, see, I don't know. I think D Ritter, I think is a little too close to. I don't know. I mean, I know D Ritter, Scott. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think that might be a little too close to voodoo territory. You know, LTT. What kind of trouble you trying to get us into? South in LA. I know, but D Ritter's pretty south though. I mean, really, D Ritter any southerner, you gonna be in the middle of the water. You're gonna be out there in the ocean. They're pretty close. I mean, they're pretty south. I mean, I don't know. I know you got to go a little bit more inland. You know, further across, you get deeper into the voodoo stuff over there. I don't. I'm trying to go that far. I got friends who live down in there. I'm like, ooh, bless you. Mm. Which they do not do the whole voodoo thing. Okay, I'm just saying. She's not into that. She, you know. I mean, no offense to anybody who is. You do your thing, but there's just certain things I can't do, and that's one of them. No. Mm-mm. D Ritter is look LTT. D Ritter is just across from. Yeah, you're right. It's just across from Jasper, and it should be 45 minute to an hour drive, unless you're doing it in a hurricane that just went through, and it takes 2.5 hours to get there because there's trees all over the place, and you're constantly having to reroute. That was rough. I mean, you know that the hurricane that came through there a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. Went to D Ritter and a couple of them places over there. Oh man. And Lake Charles, I'm not going over that bridge. So you're gonna have to do D Ritter and stay on this side of it because I don't do that bridge in D Ritter. That sent me into an anxiety attack big time. Oh my goodness, that bridge is horrible. Nobody should have to drive over that. I don't know what they were thinking making a bridge like that. They're crazy. Oh, you like the crawfish? Yeah, yeah, and that is something down there. You see, All the little crawfish holes everywhere. LTT, you drive that bridge a lot. Oh, honey. Oh my goodness. You don't mind it? Oh, that thing is. Oh my gosh. I'll do a lot, but when it comes to those bridges like that, that somebody I don't know. I think they had it out for people or something. When you make a bridge like that, nah. Oh, to the Ritter, yeah, you can drive to the Ritter. That's not bad. But going down to Lake Charles and having to go over that bridge, oh my gosh. I said, y'all, this bridge. I told them, I said, I'm not working over there. You're gonna have to find something. I'm gonna have to drive around it. There's got to be another way. There's got to be another way there. I'll drive 3 hours out of my way to get around there. Come in from the other side or something. Going over that bridge. Ooh, I gotta breathe and prepare myself for that. That was horrible. The first time I went over that bridge, oh my goodness. And then I had to, and then it hit me. I had to go back over it to get back home. Oh my goodness. I said, oh, please, Lord. Because there's no crawfish and no voodoo. Crawfish is a lot of work. And I don't do the head part of it. I've eaten the little body part, I've tried that. But that's a lot of work for the little itty piece of meat. If you don't eat the whole crawfish, it's a lot of work to do. Lardo Lake, ooh, that'd probably be a good LTT, look, you can go up to Louisiana and do that shit on your own, honey. I'm not doing that one. Look, Louisiana, I don't know. I don't know if it'd be a good thing to go to Louisiana. Plus, if you drive to Louisiana and you go, just a couple miles over the speed limit, you're getting a ticket. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the black ice and stuff. Oh, yeah. You know that Snowmageddon we had a few years back where they shut down 10? They shut it down. Could you imagine going over that bridge in Lake Charles with that ice and everything? I mean, the overpasses. 'Cause I was down there driving it, and I went to Louisiana. Like what was it, 2 years ago when we had another little ice storm come through. I had to drive out there to Louisiana. Um, Ice all over the road. Oh my gosh, what in the world? I was like, this is ridiculous. Why am I always driving in these storms like this? I made it though. I barely made it there in time to get to work because it took several hours. Because you have to drive slow, man. Um, but I remember you see those overpasses and they have to shut them down. Like, yep. And you see a big old tractor trailer sliding back down. I'm like, oh my gosh, let me get out of here. Your family's from Louisiana. I'm glad that I have a friend that's from Louisiana and she goes back home, a lot of times. Like on the weekends and stuff. It's a coworker, so she likes to go and enjoy it. But she talks about how crazy Louisiana people can't drive, honey. They can't drive. No offense, LTT, but I hope your family wasn't part of that. I hope they're not part of the non. I mean, they drive crazy up there. You go to Shreveport. Oh my goodness, LTT, you've been to Shreveport, right? Those cars, they rack 'em up, bang bang. All of them. I mean, they drive crazy. Yeah, it was bad. That Snowmageddon was bad. That was one of the worst storms we had. It was. We still had snow on the ground a week later. That was ridiculous. We never have snow. If it snows or ices or anything like that, it's a few hours and then it's gone. You know, it's like, and of course everybody will wreck up because they don't understand. You don't have control over ice. Okay, you don't. It's not like snow. Snow, you can drive a certain way. Ice, you don't have control over it. So, they're already wrecking them up, bang bang. They're off the road. They're doing this and that, and it's like, oh my goodness, y'all too much. You're just too much. Just drive slow, be cautious, stay home. You know, but we do that. I mean, Texas freezes up. I mean, you got 6 hours of bad weather, and it's oh my goodness, But then, when we had that stuff stick around for a week, that was a long time for here. Yeah, your mom's side is over in Texas. Your dad's in Louisiana. Well, we know which side of your family is crazy. I'm just kidding, LTT. I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding. I say that about my family too. Oh, my kids will tell you my side of the family is the crazy side. Oh yeah, you get rain, you flood. Yes, exactly. LTT, we flood out here all the time, but it's because the ground just can't absorb it fast enough, and we get lots of rain dropped real quick in such a short amount of time. It's just, and yeah. But you know, this last winter was nice too. We had a mild. Uh-oh. You know what that means? We got a brutal one coming up, I guess. We had a mild winter, really, right? I mean, am I forgetting any kind of? No, this year we've had a lot of storms. This year we've had a lot of storms. We've had a couple of ice storms, but not anything major. They're just quick and easy ones, like a little bit here and there. But we really did have a mild winter, and we've had a really mild summer too, compared to what we normally have. Cold front is coming. That's what I'm thinking, LTT. We had the lull. Now, it's coming. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year. Yes. You gotta be safe when you're driving out there on the ice. That's right. Slow as a turtle. At least you get there with your shell intact. Yeah, I don't know. You think we'll have a brutal winter this year, LTT? I hope not. I hope we don't have it like that one. I don't. Hey, if I do though, good. Guess what? If I don't go back to my other job and I keep this new one, which I've been there almost a year or so, but I'm not traveling during this bad weather. Every year during the bad weather, I was traveling. And a trip that should have been 4 hours was 8. The heck? Ridiculous. And that one storm that hit, the Snowmageddon one that stuck around for a week, I was on the way out, and my son had said, Mom, we need to leave early because that storm's going to be hitting. And I didn't quite leave early enough. I got caught in it. So it took me a little bit longer, but it wasn't as bad as coming back. Because coming back, the roads were still solid sheets of ice. It had stormed a few more times. It was crazy. So it took me even longer to get back home at the end of the week than it did to get out there. It took me 6 hours or something to get there. It took me over 8 hours to get home because I was driving so slow. Ancient alone. Yeah, I was going down there. Yep, right outside of Beaumont. Sure was. I was down there, and they had no power. So my hotel did not lose power. I was in a different hotel than some of the other people were, and we didn't have water. The water shut off. So I had cases of. I did. I had water. I still washed up. I was like, I can't do this. I got microwave. Oh yeah, microwave that water up in there, heated it up. Yeah, and they were out there. The people at the other one, because they had lost power and everything, they were out getting water out of the pool in buckets and taking it in to flush their toilets and stuff. I still had we had enough water we were able to flush toilet because it was a small trickle. I don't know how that happened, but it was. Oh yeah, you're up there in Arkansas, Buffalo, New York. Oh, wait, your mom, look, your aunt just moved from there. You got, I got a friend, they live up there in Buffalo, New York. They love it up there. They love it up there. They work at, her daughter works there at Niagara Falls. Oh, I know. I know. Look, driving in that weather. But that's okay. Because I got there, I get back. I've driven through some pretty bad weather, and I just know, hey, you know what? You gotta slow it down. It takes a lot longer. That's okay. So I get there in one piece. My car was okay. I'm good to go. I didn't have to worry none about it. I don't, we get an accident, do anybody in, so we're good. Oh, she had to come home. Yeah. Yeah. Buffalo is pretty up there. I'll give them that. It's pretty, and I wouldn't want to live there. I'll live right here where I'm at. I'm good. I know. They're supposed to be coming to visit us. I don't know when they're gonna come, but we'll have to get with her and when you come. My husband and a couple of kids were up there. They had to travel up there and went and saw them. Visited them up there for a little while. Got to see him. I haven't seen her in a few years, so it's been a while. Oh, you're wanting to go up there to Buffalo? Want to go up to Buffalo? Yeah, they get a lot of snow. They're used to it, up there. Like, I know when I lived in Ohio and Michigan, oh my goodness, that was some snow, baby. Snow. My goodness. A lot of snow. Uh, you know, but people up there know how to deal with it because they deal with snow all the time. And my husband's from Michigan. Well, he claims he's from Michigan and he was born in Cali, but spent most of his childhood in Michigan. And he loves the snow. He gets so excited. He loves it. He was wanting to go up there. I could pass on the snow. That's just me. I like for my kids to be able to go out and play in it. When we went to Wisconsin years back, and the twins were 2, my kids were younger. I had to order all the snow gear because we don't sell it down here in Texas. They don't have the proper snow gear for here, so I had to order everything online for them. And boy, did we have to have it because it was freaking freezing there. Hey, Fancy Glam, what's up? We're shaking bacon. What you doing? That's my sister right there, Fancy Glam. My much older, much wiser sister. Much older. I'm just kidding. That's the one. She's only 3 years older than me, and she looks younger than me, but it's okay. What are you doing, Fancy? What is today? You home? What are you doing? Were you sleeping? You were sleeping like a regular person, huh? Oh, you were thinking about me. What were you thinking about me for? Aw, that's okay. I was just talking about you. Look, Buzzball was a look. She was adopted. She was adopted in Texas, and the records are sealed. So we were going over a little bit of, a little bit of that and ways to possibly get them unsealed for. You're taking over. Yeah, yeah. You gotta take over and do what you gotta do, LTT. I don't know. If you go to Buffalo, let me know. I want to see. You gotta have to video some of it, pictures and stuff. Yeah, he grew up. Yeah, he likes the snow. Yeah, see, my kids like the snow. They love to get out there and play in it. And you know, when it snowed here, my husband hooked up the old kayak and pulled the kids around on it. He had video of them. Snow was just flying up in their face, and they were like, ah ha ha, and they were loving it. Well, I hope it can help you out, Buzzball. I hope maybe you can get somewhere with it and see if they can unseal those for you. You know. Indica knows what's up. She says, hey, beautiful fancy. Mm. You been up all night, fancy, or did you sleep at all? I fell asleep earlier because the grandbabies are here, you know. Now I'm up, so, you know. Oh, yeah, they had a blast. That was when I was stuck down there outside of Beaumont with a trickle of water coming out. I had power, though, so I was good. The other hotel was out. I said, oh, okay. Oh, you been up? Mm. I was up. I said, I might as well go live. Yeah, check it out. Something like that can be done. Let's see why it couldn't. Especially if you hit it heavy with the whole medical. I mean, that's such a valid reason for wanting things. You should have access to that. I think that should be our right to have access to our medical history. It is very important. And it's very important for your doctors to have. That's why they ask those questions. That's why they ask. They need to know. It helps them to help diagnose and take care of what your medical needs are. Yeah, I know. Look, LTD, it was just a little trickle of water. I was taking that bottle of water and I was filling it up, microwaving it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do what I had to do. I don't care. I'm gonna make sure I stay clean. I can't do that dirty. Nope, nope, nope. No water. What the heck? I was just grateful the hotel didn't. We did not lose power. I told them, I said, I got power. You want me to make you dinner? I'm my skillet. I can cook. Because everybody, even the restaurants and stuff, were out. Yeah. Fuzzball, what's up with that, man? You get into your 50s, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, hold on a second. We need that Gorilla Glue to keep ourselves put together, I tell you. It comes in knowing things is the key, being able to have that. Yeah, you had lights and no water, yeah. LTT, I'm telling you, the other hotel those people were at, it was a really nice one, too. Uh, they didn't have power. Felt a little bad for them, but I felt bad enough as I went into my hotel that had power and had heat. I'm just saying, I felt bad for them, but I could only feel so bad because you know I felt bad thinking about him laying there with my heater on and my TV going. Yeah, a case of it. That's right. Yeah, get a case of Gorilla Glue. Keep it handy. You know, and use the glue gun to do the initial fix, and then let the Gorilla Glue fix. Let it sit there and really settle in. I know. I sit there. I say, "Oh man, I got bursitis. Got bursitis of the hip. Whoa, that starts acting up, man. I tell you what, it's a brutal, brutal situation. It's got the bursitis. Oh well, gotta keep going though. My, Look, I'll take my hip and my bursitis with me. Let's go. Yeah, you gotta keep that stuff in the car. Look, I'll do what I gotta do. Always be prepared. Always. Look, it's 6 o'clock. I wonder how much longer I have before the kids start stirring. I know the kiddos will probably be sleeping a little bit. They had the football last night, y'all. They were tired when they came home. And they said they hadn't eaten dinner yet. I said, what? Because it was a scrimmage. I said, what? What do you mean? It was early scrimmage, and yeah, two came home saying they hadn't eaten dinner, making them dinner real quick. Oh yeah, and you know what, Fuzzball? That's where it would be nice to have the. Oh yeah, you're right. It's only 4:09 there, Fancy. Yeah. Um, and just for the record, Fancy doxed her own time zone. I didn't do that. Just putting it out there. Um, just kidding, Fancy. Uh, that is where they, if you did the DNA, ancestry DNA, and we've got a couple of people who've done that. Jenna and Charlie Girl have both done it. I know Fancy and I've talked about doing it. You know, and you can find out what your genealogy is. One of our nieces did some. She did one, and I thought, and that kind of gave us a little insight of a little bit of ours because she's got the stuff from the father's side as well. So, which hopefully doesn't play a role in any of yours, or whatever. But you did yours, LTD? Did you? You got good. You got good stuff out of it. I know they have different ones. Like they even have ones that supposedly can even help out with the medical stuff. Like there's all kinds of stuff they can tell. I know we follow the family tree. Like a friend of mine, we were talking about it, and he's like, "Yeah, those family trees." Until you find out that your great 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 grandmother, you know, the great 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 grandfather wasn't actually your great great grandfather because she was messing around with somebody else in town. You know, and I thought, yeah, you're right about that. That could be, So I guess you got to do the blood test to find out. Irish, German, Spain, Italy, England, France. Yeah, well, according to our family tree, we right there with you, LTT. Right there with you. There's a lot, and those family trees are very. Oh, it's crazy how it multiplies. It's there's so much there. I thought about trying to put one on the wall, like trace out the family tree, and then I'm like, whoa, you know how much? It's crazy. I'm like, how would you even begin to do that? You take up so much room. And as far back as they go, like we got one, the one line goes so far back, and I'm like, wow, it's amazing. And then of course, you're like, okay, from your father's side, his father, but then I like to look at all of it. You know, to keep in mind the direct descendant, but then I get sidetracked all the time, right? And I'm looking into, okay, well, here's your grandmother's side. You could follow her father and her mother and blah 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 back and forth. I mean, there's so much to see and look at. Oh yeah. Oh, Buzzball, enjoy them. Oh my goodness, and congratulations. I know that's hard. I have one, my oldest is in the Air Force, and then my 20-year-old is in the Navy, and he just left for his duty station. Yeah, it's hard. But enjoy him being there. I know my 20-year-old, he was home for his 20th birthday, which was nice. He was between duty stations, so, he just had to leave to his next station, and it was hard. That's really hard. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, I know. Right. You got your regular Cajun and your Creole Raging. Cajun, Raging. What the heck? Cajun. Well, we are kind of Raging. Raging Cajuns. Yeah, you never know. I mean, worst case scenario is you get it and you don't find anything out, which I've never heard of that. So you get that ancestry.com, you do your blood test, you never know what you find out. It's always amazing, and people, do that all the time, and they end up shocked by, what they find out and discover. It's really cool. I love to hear those stories about it. Ooh, you got both types, LTC? Yeah, I knew I liked you for a reason. Look at that. You got both Cajun in there. Ooh, that's 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 spicy there. Which, really, I mean, that's not. I mean, if you think about it, yeah, that makes sense. I wonder, did they have like Cajun wars? Like I was watching this. Speaking of the, who am I, right? The ancestry thing. There was one I was watching the other night, and the grandparents, great grandparents, whatever it was. One was Protestant and one was Catholic, and it was a war. Like the family tried their best to keep them apart. It was something else, man. I just wonder if it was like that. Is it like that with the Cajuns? I haven't really looked into that, but I just wonder. Is it like a Protestant Catholic type situation, or like, no, you're Creole, you don't mess with the regular Cajuns? Okay, Fuzzball, you have a good day. Go get some rest and enjoy your baby. And thank you for joining us. Thanks for coming in. It was nice talking to you. So many people in one little body. Yeah, they probably did, LTD. They may have. I bet you there's some history there. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't really explored that part of the history, but it would be interesting to know. Cajun versus Cajun. They do call them Raging Cajuns. I do love to listen to them talk, though. And when you've hit Louisiana, guys. And you're down south. You go down there, you go to the Lake Charles area and stuff, and those people on TV, the gator hunters and stuff, and you hear them talking, it's really something to hear somebody in real life, like right next to you. And you're like, what? And you're like, oh, it's really cool. I love hearing the different accents. Yeah, New Orleans. See, New Orleans would be a bad place to be going to the graveyard. I think there'd be a lot of chicken wind chimes up there. Well, thank you for coming in, Fuzzball. Have a good one. Yeah, exactly. Love holds no bounds. That's right. Yeah, I don't know. That would be something. We should look into that, LTT. We should investigate that and see what kind of situations happen in the Cajun world. Like, what kind of stuff did they have going on? Like I was just listening to another one of those Who Am I things, guys. I get hooked on them. I start watching them like crazy. But Pawnell, I think is how you say it. There's an actress, and it was her bloodline. And what do they call it? The Battle of Christian, I think is what they call it. But Pawnell, um, they her great great grandmother was very deep into the underground railroad. Um, the abolishing of slavery and stuff, and it was a really good history lesson. And they were Quaker, and I didn't realize this, y'all. Okay, 51 years old, and I'm still learning new things. I love it. The Quakers were very instrumental in the abolishing of slavery. I thought that was really interesting, and I have to tell you that is one part of history that I do not recall them diving into in history lessons. I know we learned about the Quakers, but it wasn't that much. I don't remember hearing about those battles, and it was actually the battle that John Wilkes Booth got very upset, and that's why he did what he did to Abraham Lincoln. It was very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, yeah, get him over there. Get him asking some questions. He should be able to sit there and tell you. They never talked about the battles. No, no. And see, that's one that I never heard about. And I went to school in different states, and you do learn the different histories and stuff. But this is one that I never heard of, and I was like, what? I need to look into this a little bit more. And it was a battle that was very instrumental because they would hide um, the slaves because they were right over the border, and they'd hide them out, and they ended up, and it was really amazing because they were so, and the Quakers were peaceful people, and it was a situation where the one lady, she was Quaker and she married a non-Quaker, and it was a big old long story about it, and he owned a slave. And so they were like going, hey, how is it, she married him? Did she, well, come to find out, yes, he owned a slave. Well, loosely owned a slave, I guess, but uh, he ended up, when it came to battle, he armed and he fought for the slaves to abolish slavery. So, you know, I would hope that it was a situation that, he treated people with respect and whatever. But it was just interesting to see all of that. And, I was like, wow, that's a whole part of it I didn't realize. Um, but they ended up, the guy had learned that, oh, they were hiding out two of their people, and he went over to go get them, and the battle began, and they did arm themselves and defend, and he ended up losing his life in that battle. His son was injured. They brought his son into their home and took care of him and bandaged him up. And, you know, they ended up, the two guys that they were looking for, they they were sly, y'all. They were good. They ended up dressing him up and saying they were lady callers, that they were coming in to call on some of the ladies or whatever, and pranced them right out the door and sent them on up to Canada. It was very interesting. I was like, okay. So, it was really, I enjoyed listening to that. See, and that's sad. They never let the children listen. They should be listening. They should, I learned a lot when I was growing up by listening to my mom's conversations with my grandma. And it was always, okay, you gotta sit here and be quiet. You can listen, but just don't say anything. You know, that was part of I was seen but not heard. And I knew to be quiet so I could hear. I was too nosy. I wanted to know it, so I listened. I said, ooh, to see what's going on. I learned a lot. I did. I learned a lot about the family. So, but I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys, because these kiddos are gonna be getting up. I'm gonna go in there and get me some coffee. I might make a fresh pot and get me some coffee and enjoy the last little bit of time before they get up. Because once they get up, energized. The house is energized. Yeah, see, on my side, you could listen in. That's right. That's what you do. You listen in and see what's going on. But that almost makes me think, though, the Cajun side had too much that they didn't want people to know. That's where my mind goes. Like, what did they do that nobody can know about? Are you kidding me? They were afraid that the kids would talk. That's probably what that was. They were like, we can't let them know because then they'll spread this. Ooh, I don't know. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I don't know. It is kind of cool, though. It's something to kind of do some history on and look into. I do love to, research the history. But there's a lot of history out there that we haven't been told about. If it wasn't for that, who am I? I wouldn't have known that story. That was one that was like kept locally, but it was it was a very pivotal point. And like they actually, this is the thing, that whole they the federal government passed a law, and this was scary. Okay, this was something else I didn't hear about. Okay, they passed a law that any that if a slave broke free from a state that they were not free in, and they went to a state that was, that did not have slavery, that the people had the right to come and get them. And what that created was anybody could be claimed as a slave. Okay, and they had that happen. That they would just see somebody and they go, "Oh, no, that's my slave," and they take them. And they had, even though they were quote unquote free, it really set it up bad. And then there was this big, huge um, court battle, and they challenged the federal government on it. And the very first case that was up, because they were trying people for treason, and they did not try the Parnells, who were they were not arrested. Everybody else associated with them was. And the very first case, they lost so bad. The federal government lost that case, and they backed out and did not try anybody else for treason. And then that's really made the federal government look bad. It was kind of like the beginning of probably why they don't like to go to court. But I thought it was really interesting. Hey, Jane, what's up? Look, Jane, I was just getting ready to shut it down. Here you come. Oh, man. Yeah. So that history there I really enjoyed hearing about that. Interesting. But yeah, I'm just getting ready to end this so I can go in there and get some fresh coffee before them grandbabies are awake, because they usually wake up before um, the older kiddos do. Of course, they kind of wake them up too. Come on, let's go do this. Let's go do that. They don't usually wake up real quiet and demure. They wake up energized and ready to go. You know how we used to when we were younger, right? I don't wake up energized ready to go anymore, y'all. I wake up trying to peel my eyeballs open, feeling, like I'm Helen Keller, peeling around for my daggone coffee and hitting that button. You know, mm, that's where But the sun's starting to come up, seeing the sunrise, and I'm not even at work. Woo, woo, yeah. Yep. I'd be like, yeah, got 30 more minutes. Look at that. I'd have 30 more minutes at work. You need to drive home. And of course, they got a rooster out there somewhere going off. It's probably that rooster that runs the streets. He'd be running the streets. I hadn't seen him. Like, he used to work. He used to stand in that corner up. There was one corner he was at all the time. I hadn't seen him lately, but I hear him now. So I don't know. He's out there somewhere. He's a beautiful rooster, though. Got a lot of white on him. He's pretty. Mm-mm-mm. But I'm gonna shut it down, guys. I'm gonna go in here. I've run my mouth just babbling, y'all. We talked about anything and everything, but the whole graveyard thing, I do think we need to do that. I'm gonna really set my mind to doing that. LTT, I think we should get together and find a graveyard somewhere. Indica, fly out here. Um, yeah, but I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna get me some coffee. I think, I will, and enjoy the last few moments of quietness in the house. How still the house is. I should have at least a half hour. We'll see. We'll see, y'all. I'm sitting here listening to see if there's anybody stirring around yet. He's after your chicken. He might be. My chicken is a sexy chick, let me tell you. He might be after us saying, hey, baby, let me in. You never know. You never know. Yeah, TT, we need to plan that. We need to figure that one out. We had to search for a graveyard to go to. Ooh, it'd be fun. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. And y'all have a great, great day. Might be on later. I don't know. One of these, look, I'm going to have to get it where Charlie Girl's able to come up. I don't know. Our schedules have been so whacked out this week. It's been brutal. Our schedules are just wonky all over the place. But today's Saturday. I don't know. Maybe we can get together tonight and pull something off. I don't know. Last night when we could have gone live, I was asleep. I knocked out. But y'all have a great day. We'll catch y'all later. And thank you for joining. And we will chit chat another time. Y'all have a great one. See y'all later.
Yeah, I will always be a warrior. You can't stop me, you can't stop me now. Yeah, I will always be a warrior. You can't lock me, you can't lock me down. I will not lay down my arms. Ready to be covered in scars. Cause I will always be a warrior. Late nights, get lost, hard work, the cost. Can't quit, can't stop. This world all cut off. Don't have time to waste, not now. Need to find a way to get out. Cause I'm gone, indeed. Get lost in the weeds. You know it's all about the conquest. What's next? You gotta put the work in like you're obsessed. Think about what you want, what's your future. What kind of person would it take to seduce her? So what's next? Be obsessed with winning and your success. Make progress, this life is never promised. So feel blessed, live life, don't be too cautious. Trust the process. In too deep, I'll never quit. I wanna see this through, yeah, I'm all in. And I will hold my head up high. Got what it takes to fight and survive. Yeah, I will always be a warrior. You can't stop me, you can't stop me now. Yeah, I will always be a warrior. You can't lock me, you can't lock me down. I will not lay down my arms. Ready to be covered in scars. Cause I will always be a warrior.